Hi everyone, here in India, Kerala, India, with my client, and we are solid 2 weeks into the healing journey. And there's some things that I want to talk about with healing that I've had a few people say, oh my gosh, it must be so nice for you to be out there getting all those treatments, and oh, it just must be so relaxing. And for those of you who have been on real healing journeys, like if you've ever been in an accident and you've had to heal from that, or if you've had emotional trauma and you've had to heal from that, or even grief, like somebody that you love passed, and even if it was a relief for them to pass, there was grief that you had to then deal with, and there's no joke about that stuff. There's no joke about it. And you could go get as many massages as you want, and it doesn't take away that pain and that healing process. So it's for real. It's taken me a few days to actually post this because I've had a migraine for like 4 days, and I wanted to let you know, here's what we are doing here. So the first week we did our morning treatment with Shirdara. For those of you who are unaware of that Ayurveda treatment, it's really incredible treatment. It is basically medicated oil that is used, that streams on your forehead back and forth. And you know, at home, I think when I got it done, it was one of the treatments that I did when I was recovering from sepsis. I was doing it every other week for a solid 2 years. And then I was able to finally, after I was really accelerating in my healing process from sepsis, I was finally able to push it out like once a month. And then I did that for another year, and then I was able to push it out once every 6 weeks. But this is how they do it here. It's every single day for a solid week. And the numbers of treatments matter. You don't do it just once. You have to do it consecutive days. And there's a numbering thing about it, and I don't totally understand it yet, but I'm gonna pick Pradeep's brain and find out what this is about. And he said you can't stop doing certain treatments at a certain day. It has to be day 3, day 4, day 7 where you're able to stop. There's a stray kitty here showing up. So we did 7 days of Shirdar. That was our morning treatment, and then the afternoon treatment was a total tear up. Like I kind of mentioned to you guys after the first one, we were in day 3. We've done almost a solid 2 weeks now of treatments, and I have never had such deep tissue work done ever, and in places where I've never had work done, like my iliac crest and deep in the pelvis. And there's a couple of injuries that I have from like accidents. I had a ski accident where I blew out my knee, and it caused my pelvis to kind of jerk and twist, and that never got resolved. And then I had from the car accident that I was telling you guys in my first video, same thing. And then he's in there really pulling apart the tissue, because as we go through life, there are certain postural patterns that get stuck from life, and you gotta physically go in there and undo it. And you know, I was actually just listening to a near-death experience because I really love near-death experiences. I had a small near-death experience when I had the sepsis on the first night that I was in the hospital. And one of the things that this gal talked about is how her soul had this experience where she connected with the other side and knows what life is about, but her body had to catch up to that experience. And that's kind of what we're here doing. we have to help our bodies heal. And that is not easy. It's not easy because it means that you gotta go in there and undo. Like, why do people hold their shoulders up? Because of life, and it gets stuck in the shoulders, and so it's gonna be held up there like that for who knows how long, until you get somebody to get in there and help you release it. So we were doing that really deep work, and I'm telling you, I was screaming. So this healing journey is not for the faint of heart at all. Now my client's experience has been different because he's dealing with a pretty serious condition, and you can't do deep work coming into it. So he's going to have a solid 2 weeks of just moderate treatments before they could start doing more of the deeper work. But for me, man, they went all in right in the beginning. So Shirdara was done for a week. Shirdara is the streaming on the forehead. And Pradeep said that calms the mind. It calms the mind. And that's what that's for. Now we are doing basically Shirdara. It's called body oiling. It's Shirdara for the entire body. It's this oil being dripped over your whole body. And they do these treatments for a solid hour. When I was getting it done in the States and I was going every other week, the most that I was getting done is like 30 minutes. That's it. That's all she was doing is 30 minutes. It's not enough. It's not enough. So we do a solid hour. It feels amazing. But it's a heavy treatment. And we're here in Kerala during the monsoon, during the rainy season, and it literally rains so hard. So it's a heavy treatment. And we've got heaviness happening outside, so we have to be really careful. I to keep a cotton ball in my ear so that you don't get sick, because those are portals. But he said the Shirdara on the body has to go for 2 weeks. And what that does is it allows the body all this stuff, all this tension, all this frenetic energy that we hold in our bodies to just finally go. And so we've had a solid week of that. We have another week of that body treatment. And as a result, there's been a lot of stuff surfacing, of course, emotional stuff. I've had this headache. I can't get rid of it. They're doing beautiful treatments to try to help me. And the truth is, he just said, it's part of what's lifting. Because after you get done with this body treatment, after 2 weeks of the oiling that goes on the body, he said, your nervous system will just completely let go. And then I asked him, I'm like, okay, so what do I do when I get home? How am I going to deal with that? Because I'm going to go home and I'm going to be in this dysfunctional Western culture, you know, where everybody's running around, everybody's distracted, everybody's frenetic, even people who are practicing spiritual practices and meditation and things like that, even they're kind of, you know, jacked up. And he said, this treatment will stick with you. He said, you will have a new baseline that you've never experienced. So, okay, I can look at my life and probably tell you I don't know that I've ever experienced a calm nervous system. At times I have, but it hasn't been sustained. So I don't know yet what that feels like. I am way more grounded, way more embodied than I was from when I got here. You know, I showed up with my main healing wanting to be my nervous system because of shingles, and I haven't had any shingles symptoms for over a week. So I have not had to take any medication for shingles since I got here. So that's, it's definitely helping my physical body calm down. And then the nervous system, which is directly connected to our biology and our consciousness, that's next. So I'm excited about this journey, but I have another week of the body treatments, and I'm excited to report to you guys how it's going. My client is doing amazing. He looks different. He's got color in his skin that I didn't see before. He keeps telling me every day, he's like, I am so surprised at how much I'm able to eat. He's eating so much food like a normal 20-year-old should eat. And I said, well, that's what you should be eating. And so he's really excited. The treatments have been very, very good for him, very nurturing, very nourishing, very grounding, calming. His body is calm. He feels good and he feels strong. And Pradeep basically said that for these first 2 weeks, we will feel more heavy because the treatments are very heavy. Oil is heavy. They are earth treatments. So we will feel more heavy. And then after that, we move into other treatments that are going to be more lifting and lightening and strong. They will help us to feel physically strong without the heaviness. We are drinking a liquid that is bone marrow of buffalo. Doesn't really taste like much. We're drinking that twice a day. Both Bryce and I are doing that. And he has us doing that the entire time to build strength at the level of our skeletal structure. So we are doing all of it. This is a change in our cellular structure. We are going to be impacting our cells, the very mitochondria that's contained in the cells, which is where our energy comes from. And it is all being completely transformed through these practices. And I want to just say that Ayurveda is so amazing. This wisdom is so amazing, and it's kind of blown off by a lot of people because we don't have a lot of patience. Ayurveda is so effective, but it's slow. And we have to have patience. We have to have patience for the healing process. True healing takes a long time, and the physical body has to catch up with the rest of us. So even if you, let's say you have a spiritual awakening, or all of a sudden you have this epiphany and you completely change the trajectory of your life, your physical body oftentimes has to catch up to that. And it's just like I told you in my first video, my physical body is wanting to hold on to those patterns sometimes still, and that's okay. And like I said, we have to just be super kind and gentle with ourselves as we go through a healing process. And this one out here is major. Like I said, 40-day commitment, and it's no joke. Anyway, that is the latest update, and I'm going to do a little interview with my client, and I know I told you guys his name, but I'm going to do a little interview with him and kind of give you more of his experience so that he could share it, because he's having such incredible transformation only after 2 weeks, and we still have another 4 weeks to go. All right, you guys, peace, and I will connect with you in another week.